Hi, greetings. I'm Dr. Ask, and of course, as I promised, well, slightly promised, said that I would share my DNA results with 23andMe. So I definitely wanted to make an attempt to do that today. So I ended up having to do. I was supposed to be doing it yesterday, so instead of yesterday, I'm doing it today. So I'm really excited about that. So anyway, I did receive them. Let's see how long they took to do this. Because they took they didn't take, it wasn't as I've listened on the DNA of the 23andMe on YouTube where people discuss 23andMe. And a lot of folk said that it took them quite some time to receive the package back. So if I recall actually sending them off on the 4th of November, and they wind up, how you doing, Annette? And they wind up sending it back like this a couple of days, like probably like 3 days ago. How you doing, Lady Solo? Hey. So they wind up sharing them back to me. The process went pretty fast, is what I've noticed, and I'm just like, God, did y'all get my DNA? Did y'all get the right DNA? So the process went like this. It was really disgusting to me. Okay, some of you all probably like spitting. I'm not really a spitter. I don't like spitting. I just don't like it because I don't want to know that I had to spit. And I don't want other people to know that I spit. It's my own personal spitting experience. Okay, so I don't like spitting. My mother always told me that's not ladylike, and some things my mother taught me I kind of stay with me here in this life. I got some blueberry in my teeth. Shit, I'm enough. I just ate it like literally a second ago. Anyway, so what happened was you get a tube, you have to open it up. I wish I would have gone through the process in doing it, but I mean, I'm not an editor. I'm not going to edit and go through all of these different tunes and different things. So I just said, forget it. So anyway, you're given this vial and you have to spit until a certain point, and they cut off, they put like a indication of like, hey, spit to this point. And so you're going to spit into the vial. You go blip, blip, blip. Gross. And then you seal it. And then it's another solution on top of there. The other solution mixes with your with your saliva, and you seal it up, place it back into the envelope with your information. And of course, you register that online before you even get started, and you're giving a code on the vial. Okay, and so you mail it off. You go do, and it's free to mail off. It does cost. Sometimes the 23andMe do run specials. Sometimes DNA, what is the ancestral DNA also run special, especially around the seasons. That's why a lot of times people will give DNA kits to different people during the holidays, like father, grandparents, auntie, whomever, because they're running a good special right now. They are running a special for 23andMe, but I would advise people to really start with DNA ancestry, because what I found out, and this is not, I'm not going to put my family, we'll talk about that in a little while. Let me get to the DNA spot of what I mixed with. I'm going to share something. I'm going to share definitely the DNA aspect of it, but I'm not necessarily going to show the family aspect of it. Again, everybody knows, and remember, I'm coming from an adoptive perspective, right? I'm adoptive. I don't know my biological parents. Never seen them probably, I don't remember. And it was like, born maybe, right? But definitely after that, if I even seen them then, I don't know, right? But because I can't recall that time. So nevertheless, I'm adopted. So I have not seen them, or I don't know if they see me. I don't know what the situation is. But again, let's move on. So so I don't want to tell you, I don't want to give all that up, but I am going to share some things as far as that's concerned. I'm not going to share any names. I'm not going to share the folk because they deserve privacy, if that is what happened. Okay, I'm kind of telling, right? Okay, so let's go to the DNA. So anyway, you see, this is me. This is me, right? Y'all see this right here? Hope y'all do. Um, I'm not looking back right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the ancestry overview. Okay, so that's me, right? So let's go to, wait a minute. Let me go back. I want to make sure that I don't want to accidentally hit anything that I shouldn't hit, okay? Because again, I don't want to do privacy. I don't want to. Again, I want to make sure that I reserve people's privacy, okay? So anyway, as you can see, so what I was told my whole entire life, or I assume by a couple of folk, I'm not going to say any names, but I thought I had a higher Native, what they call them, Native American, but I call it red people, right? Because they have red skin, right? I call brown people, the Latina, I call them brown skin, and I call us black at different times, or melanated skin color. It just depends, right? Because a lot of times if you talk to certain people, tribes, and I'm very familiar with a lot of tribes, and I've gone in the TP and I've worked with a lot of different red folk, and they don't like to be called, majority of ones that I know don't like to be called Native Americans, so I don't call them that. Anyway, nevertheless, let's move on. So I thought I had a high percentage of, so-called Native American or red people. I thought I had a high percentage of that, and as you can kind of tell, I don't necessarily, right? So I was really shocked. I was totally shocked by it was like really funny. And so of course I called my father and shared with him my results, and of course he laughed and laughed and laughed, and he said something really weird to me. I was just like, well, if you thought that, then why did you tell me? He was just like, I don't know. So anyway, right here, the 83%, see, this is me, Amira Kwali, 100%. And then you go see in majority of tests, when you, because of the fact that a lot of our tribes have not been broken down yet, and so a lot of them don't have the exact DNA of this particular tribe, because again, these are broad places. So when they use this language right here, and I want to make sure that you all see me, when they use this language here, this is like broad. So they don't necessarily know what tribe, they can just kind of tell you whereabouts. So it's like an estimation of in the area or the vicinity of, this is what your bloodline is. Oh, so you can go on to this website right here. But again, this is a pretty cool website. I think that now, let me tell you all something. If you're trying to look for relatives, this can be a great way to see your relatives, provided, like all DNAs, provided that they submitted their DNA information on the website. If they have not, then you can lease your DNA on that. And then there's some websites that you can actually transfer this DNA sample that you did to other free websites, and it's some that will charge you. Okay. Or you can go to Ancestry DNA. I recommend people, if they're going to do it, I recommend that you can do both, just to kind of see where it is. Because, if you're looking for a long lost family, sometimes certain people may not be on this particular DNA search, and then the other ones may be all on the Ancestry, because 23andMe is a little bit newer than the DNA, Ancestry DNA. Okay, so keep that in mind. All right, so let me move on. I'm going to go back on the other screen, and I think I obviously I can't see you guys for commenting, so I'm going to try to toggle back. Okay, so anyway, so when you see this stuff right here, and this is not, and I put mines on 90% accuracy as best as they can. as best as they can accurate, right? And so keep in mind that just like any DNA, just like if you take a paternal DNA, it's going to say 99.1 that person is the father, or you're the father of that child. It doesn't say 100%. I haven't really seen DNA, from my understanding. It's never really like a 100% this DNA. It just says like 99.1 or 99.0 or something like that, that this is your parent. Okay. So anyway, let me continue on. So a lot of times it's not as exact. So certain things can be missing, obviously, especially when it comes, they have to get enough data. They don't have enough data. Now, I do know that they're the African ancestry. I think that's what they're called. I can't recall exactly what they're called. If y'all know, type it in. But they do have some that probably will give you more of, if you're trying to find your African bloodline, they have more in there where kind of tribal wise, it can kind of tell you a little bit more. From my understanding, I've never done that, so I don't necessarily know. This is my first time doing the DNA. I've just done a lot of research for years, and so forth. And I'm still, again, keep it in mind, you all, as I shared with you all before, is that keep in mind, well, right, exactly. Some people may not be African. Some Black folks may not be African, but I am. So, okay. So with the sake, I'm not gonna argue with people saying I'm Native and this and this and that, or red people, because it's not really a thing. I'm just showing you mine. Now people can do whatever they need to do. That's cool. Okay. Thumbs up. All right, let me move on. All righty. So this is just a general population. This is not necessarily, they don't necessarily know. They're just kind of doing like an estimation of, we see a lot of our people that, or I know you're not, but I'm just saying for everybody else that comes in and sees what you're saying. I know what you're saying, but a lot of times people will, the whole little thing, you know what I mean. You know what's going on. So I'm not going to touch that, but we good. Okay. Thumbs up. All right, let me move on. So, so a lot of times they're gathered this particular area, or a certain amount of people that have this kind of DNA or this surface, et cetera, et cetera. So they don't have the best research on it as much as they do. They do tell you that if you really read the fine print, and I have, so I can tell you that it's not necessarily the exact, it's just kind of a roundabout ball figure, like all DNA is, right? Everything, you're not gonna see, because they have to advance. So if they advance, then great. Thank you. I'm trying to. Okay, so let's go. Okay, so again, this is 10%. 100%, right? And like I said, this is general, what they feel. Okay, so then they said West Africa. So that's a large. Look at this. So within that, see that color? See this color right here? Y'all know I need my glasses on, so but y'all understand what I'm saying. I need my glasses, so I can't really point it out. So y'all know what I mean. It's in this area right in here, okay? So they said a 68.1%, right? So I'm like, okay, cool, right? So then it's a Nigerian part, and then you can actually click on here, right? And then they show you that, and they break it down. You all see 250 ethnic groups, et cetera, and that is like on the north, what they say the north, and then they kind of break it down due to the whole Atlantic slave trade or whatever. So a lot of people, I am finding out that, oops, let me make sure. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I'm trying to make sure I don't go to the wrong spot. But a lot of people, I'm finding out, they have this area. You will see this a lot, and you're going to see this a lot. Okay. All right. So anyway, and then it's a 68.1. So again, keep it in mind that I really thought that I had a lot of, it does, or close to it, and they can kind of go as far as they can possibly go, as many of family members that have posted their information on here. But that's another story. We'll talk about that in a little while. However, so what happens is you find yourself going yada, 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 and you go here. So you're going to find a lot of folk out of here, a lot of folk, a lot of percentage, like even in my family line. And what I found out is that I have Caucasian folks, like fourth cousins and third cousins, who probably have a small percentage. Oh, I revealed that I have found cousins. Okay, y'all know I'm adopted. So again, so you have a small percentage. So that cousin may have 10% of African, Black, melanated, whatever y'all want to call. Okay. You may find that they will have a small percentage, but they still be in your bloodline, right? Okay, so let's move on. So right here, you see the Nigerian, right? Yeah, I know I can't see all the way, so just look at that color and match it up over here. I can't see all the way. I need my glasses. And then, of course, you see Gambian, Liberian, and I was singing this Michael Jackson song. I was jamming. I was Liberian. Okay, yeah, no, I can't see. But the point is that, you know, that's what they say. So that's kind of a generalization. This is not exactly breaking all of this down. This is just kind of saying, okay, well, we find that this is what it is for this part. So you understand what I'm saying about how it's not exactly 100%, but it's, you know, it's according to based upon the data that they have given, but they haven't done an extensive research, but just enough, right? That they found that these folks over in this area share this particular bloodline, so they must be Nigerian. Okay, so you see this, okay, and you see this 9.4%, right? And then right here, this is how you know it's really, it tells you broadly West Africa. That means the broad perspective, this is where it is, this is where we feel. Again, that's really telling you, that's a telling factor, not telling you exactly, but they telling you enough. Right. So I set mines. They have, okay, so on here, they have a function where you can type in accuracy. Well, not type in, but you can push the little arrow and it'll say like 5%, 20%, whatever, et cetera, et cetera. And it goes all the way up to 90% only. It doesn't do 100%, which I guess they have to make this work, right? But if you go down, like I said, going down, once we go down, you'll see why. You know, so let's move on. All right. So then you get this 12.1%. Again, right in here. Y'all know I can't see. But the colors are supposed to be an indication of this is where it is, this is where that is, right? And then right here, I've seen a lot of people have this. So let's click on this one. Hold on. Y'all know I got to click back. Okay. Y'all see that? Where we at? Okay, I'm just trying to make sure y'all see that. Okay, good, great. Y'all see that. Shoot, I hope you see that. I can barely see. So it just kind of breaks down what that is. It talks about the population being the oldest population branch in a human family tree, et cetera, et cetera. And it just kind of breaks down, just like Central Africa, where the rainforests are, et cetera. So it kind of breaks that portion down. So I'm like, okay, cool, right? So I noticed a lot of folk, they'll say that a lot about. Now, this is where I was very shocked. I was very shocked at this part. Ooh, I'm sorry. I'm jumping. Y'all seeing all my stuff. I don't mind this portion. Okay, cool. All right. I couldn't see though. You can see. That's great. I'm glad you can see because I'm doing it for y'all. So this where I was shocked at. Look at this percentile. I was very shocked at that. I was like, whoa. So as I asked, again, keep it in mind, we all know this is an estimation, right? Right. Yeah, thumbs up. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, so I was shocked here. 11.7 Northwestern European. I was shocked. I was definitely shocked right here. The 7.8% of British and Irish, right? And again, keeping in mind that when it comes to European, they have a better grasp on that. They can tell that faster probably than they can tell like so-called melanated folk, African, whatever you want to call, us black folk, African American, whatever, everybody call each other different things. So let's move on. Scandinavian, 3%. And then again, you have the same, what is that? The same thing as this, right? That means somewhat in this area. Somewhere I can't see. Okay. And then you go to, once again. So that was just basically, okay, we feel in this area, this is what it is, 1.9%. So it goes from here. So this is the southern part, right? And then this is the broad part, okay, where they feel like my ancestors are. And I was really shocked right here. And my father said something that really made me feel weird. Weirder. I already feel weird. Okay, we'll talk about my feelings on after doing this. And even being a adoptive child and how this made me feel and etc. We'll discuss it, okay? So this shocked the heck out of me. Oh my goodness. And this is just an estimation because again, when I did it at 90%, the spectrum went down just a little bit. Okay. But nevertheless, it was close, estimation close, right? And then of course you see the Chinese and Asian, and the Southeast Asian, and this is over here. And over here, all this stuff, all this is just weird, okay? For me, okay? And then, of course, what did we see this again? Broad areas. The broad areas of Chinese and Southeast. And Native American, which I said red people, my red folks, my red brothers and sisters, right? And then you see that, and this is basically what they say. We detected the following population in your DNA, and this is 4%. So, okay, then here's the Central Asian, Northern Indian, Pakistan, and they all have that. You see, that's just 1%. And then they have where they don't know where the hell this is. This is really what it is. Because again, keep it in mind that nothing's 100%. So they just was like, well, whatever. This is just kind of where we see it, right? It's just like whatever. We don't even know what we're talking about. We just gonna throw it up there and we're gonna keep it moving. But this is still not a bad, again, I can agree that this is not 100% as we know it, right? We all agree. But we could agree that this is a pretty neat tool for somebody like myself to have, and for other people who kind of want to have a generalization or kind of understanding, and they can go deeper once you know the family member, once you understand the family member, because we have a lot of us, except for me at this time, have a lot of elders in their family, where the family was like great grandma. And now so now QI, this is where we get deep now. Now this is where what you're talking about is real, okay? This is where some of our ancestors or our great grandmothers who were slaves, or some of them who weren't slaves, but they were in slavery times, where they may have been up in the mountains, or they were born in the mountains with some of our red brothers and sisters. And they are not necessarily African. Right, so that does happen. So you're correct in saying that. So I had to finish my thought process before I could even, make that statement. But I had to finish where I was going, because I didn't want to be, I didn't want to distract myself. Okay, so that happens because I've spoken with a lot of families who said like, hey, we're not, what I mean, down the line we got, obviously, but right now, but right here, we weren't, this area of our family was just straight up red folk. Okay, so yes, that happens. Okay, so cool, cool, cool. How you doing? Hey. Okay, so that kind of shocked me. That put my energy into differences. I was just shocked. It is what it is, right? Um, so let me go somewhere. I'm not going to the relatives. That's not happening. Okay, so let me share a couple of things with you all. So let's talk about some more of the accuracy aspect of it. The reason why I know that they are somewhat right is based upon some of the things that they did detect in my DNA. For example, let's go here. Let me find something. It's not carrier status. Okay. Okay, so let me tell you all. So they have two options on here. They have an options where you're just going to do the DNA and research for your family purposes, like general information. But then they also, for extra, they have the portion where they do your health to a generalized information, like what type of traits do you carry. So, for example, I already knew this because I was told this a long time ago. As you can see right here, I have what? A sickle cell. This is just telling me about me having sickle cell anemia, right? Which technically I have a trait. Okay. One thing I do know is that my biological mother had a trait as well because that was in her non-identifying information. So I was pretty impressed that they knew that by my DNA. Of course they would. That's how they found out to begin with. So they do let you know that. Okay. And then like any other possible ailments. And so of course you see all this not detected, not detected, not detected. I'm not going to read all of that, but y'all see what I'm saying. I'm going down. Not detected, not detected. Okay. All right. So let's see what else. We did trace, right? Did we do trace? Okay. So y'all get a pretty good pathway of kind of how it's done, right? Hey. Hey, Soapbox. L'Oreal, I was speaking to you. I was just in mid thought. Okay. So then they kind of, and some of this they came up with your DNA, and some of this they came up with asking certain questions. So what I did was I did not answer a whole bunch of questions because I wanted them to basically find out certain things on their own. But some things like I think they asked me a question about and I don't have bunions, so some of this is like a little off. I don't have bunions. I get my feet done twice a week. I'm sorry, not twice a week, twice a month. I get my feet, my nails, and my toes done. So I don't have bunions. I don't wear shoes that are too tight for me. I like my shoes comfortable. But I have a potential to get bunions. If I do, tend to wear tight feet, maybe that can possibly happen. Okay, y'all see this? All right, and it says 50-50 chance of being able to match a high pitch, musical high pitch. Well, first of all, I can't sing. I sound horrible. And if somebody, I don't know, that's just probably just me, could do a high pitch. I can scream really loud and I can do it in a high octane, but it doesn't sound good. Okay. So it's horrible. I remember I'll share this story with y'all. I was in a church choir when I was younger, just because I think my mom just wanted to babysit. No, I don't think she did. I'm just playing. No, my mother had me all the time. All the time. I went everywhere with my mother. My mother had me in the church choir because she was doing some other work in the church. But nevertheless, and then I wanted to join the church choir, and she really wanted me, she wanted me to be great. And of course, I could not be great because I could not sing. And they just told me to mouth the words because it sounded really bad. So whatever. Well, that's share my pain. Have you ever met somebody that really wants to sing, but they just don't know how, and it sounds really bad? I'm one of the ones that sit in a car with you. And my husband, I noticed him like about a month ago, and I've been with him for quite some time. He cussed the radio up when I started singing. He don't even say, "Hey, baby, you sound bad." He wants me to be great, so he'll just cut up the radio gradually. As my octane goes higher, he cuts it up. So whatever, I don't care. That's mean, isn't it? Anyway, so right here, I don't really smell anything in my urine normally, and they talk about asparagus unless I had like coffee or something. When I was drinking coffee, I drink a different type of. I know I drink vegan coffee. Um, they gave me a voice lessons. Well, I don't even think my father said that. My father said that if my cousin and my father has said this, because my father sings, my father can sing, and he says that people can help you. They can help you with your tone. They just want you to. They want to find out what you're trying to sound like. But anybody can sing and they can help you with your tone. I really think I'm a lost case, just to be honest with you. But whatever. So let's move on. So I do taste bitterness. I can't stand certain foods. I can taste the bitter in foods. So if I'm tasting something and if it tastes bitter, I'm okay with bitter. Bitter doesn't really bother me, but I can really taste it. And it may not be bitter to someone else, but if it's bitter, the slight bit of bitter, I know it. How you doing, sis? How you doing, Global? So I will know it right off. Okay. So here we go. No, I don't have no cheek or no dimples. Okay, cheek dimples. Okay, so that's not, and again, I get my toes done every day. So that has a potential more likely than average have a bunion. No, I don't have no bunion on my feet. You know why I don't have bunions on my feet? Because I get my nails done all the time and I don't wear shoes that's too tight for me. My feet have to be relaxed. I don't even wear heels. First of all, I'm bow legged, so I don't know how to work in heels. So just to share that with you, okay? So anyway, that necessarily not true. But I could imagine that I would probably if I didn't get my toes done. But I take pride in it, and I don't really walk outside with bare feet. That is disgusting to me. For me at this age, maybe when I was little or something, yeah, but not a grown up. No, hell no. Anyway, so right here, this is not really true. I actually like this. I really like it. I use it a lot in my cooking. Okay, you can watch the replay. That's not a problem. Oh, I understand. I understand. I don't have my grands today. So I'm good. Anyway, so less likely to get dandruff. No, I really don't have dandruff. My scalp does itch sometimes, and it's because I can get dry skin sometimes. I wash my hand obsessively. I take several baths a day, and I will sit in the tub for long periods of time because I just don't like dirt. And then after I get out the tub, I have to take a shower each time. So I probably take like 4 baths a day. Sometimes two at minimum, you know. So whatever. I'm not like y'all know who, you know who. But earwax, they get cleaned out. So I don't know. I don't be like, oh, it's wet earwax. I don't really do that. Likely detached, I guess. I'm just not something. I've been in this body for 46 years. I don't necessarily play with that. Pay attention to that. So, well, my eyes have changed colors. It depends on my mood. Sometimes they can be dark brown and they can go lighter. I hope I'm not breaking up for y'all. Okay. And they can go brighter. Um, and they can go brighter or they can go hazel at times. Rarely, not as much, but sometimes I've seen my eyes become that color. So, and I have my grandchildren. My granddaughter eyes changes color. She has blue eyes sometimes, and then she has gray eyes sometimes. So it's kind of, I think, and so it's kind of, it is what it is, right? She has cat. I call her cat. Probably start calling her cat eyes when she get older. Anyway, so well, that's telling all my business. How you doing, all natural? No, I don't like heights. Just telling you all my business. I guess somebody wanted to torture me, but if I know that somebody's trying to torture me, of course I'll do that. No, I don't really like speaking publicly, but I do it. But I do it because I've kind of gotten over that fear of speaking. I'm really shy. I know y'all probably don't believe me, but I'm really totally shy. Um, believe it or not, I'm shy. I know nobody believes me when I tell. I really am though. So I'm really shy, but I've been forced in my life to get over public speaking because I've been in other organizations where I had to speak in front of a large audience, and I became a motivational speaker. I have to speak to schools and different people to explain to them about how to do whatever it is that I'm trying to tell them to do, promote my business, thing like that. So closed mouth don't get fed. That's what I've always been taught. So by one of my aunts, and she was really sharp with her mouth like that. So I don't mean it like that. You know, she really told people what it was. So she's like, "You hungry? Well, say you hungry," kind of thing. You know. So that part is not necessarily true. I think this is one of those questions I did answer right here, and I actually, it's not necessarily correct because as you can see, this is my ring finger. It's nowhere near, that's not true. Okay. And so I think that was one of those questions. That's a question I answered wrong. This is very true. Didn't answer this question, but they knew this off front about me having flat feet. Again, that's why I said that I wouldn't necessarily have bunions on my feet because I have flat feet and I have no arch, none at all. And there's no way that I'm going to be walking around in heels with this big old caboose in the back trying to get around. No, it's not happening. So, and then I think it's your posture. I like my posture to be a certain way, and I can't walk in heels. Okay, let me just tell you the truth. Okay, I can't walk in heels. Yes, I do have freckles. Yes, I do. Okay. All right. You see texture? Yes, my hair definitely can be wavy at different times, and it can be kinky. It can be kinky. See, it could be really kinky, etc. And when I put water on it, it does wave up. So they're correct about that. I don't like ice cream. I don't. When I was younger, I used to eat ice cream with my father as a connecting, bonding moment. Well, he used to force me to eat ice cream with him because he didn't want to eat alone. So anyway, that's one of my childhood. My father used to make me eat ice cream. But anyway, didn't really like. I probably would eat vanilla. So they're not necessarily. I didn't really like chocolate ice cream, but I like chocolate cake. Right. So I would eat vanilla ice cream with strawberries in it, of course, or something, in it. Or I ate that I don't know, that colorful ice cream. I don't know what the heck that's called, but anyway, that's besides the point. Let's move on. So is my hair dark? Some parts of my hair are dark and some parts of my hair are red. So my hair is pretty much, I guess, in comparison to other folk, maybe it is dark. But at different points of the time, I have had different, I have reddish, dark, reddish, brown hair, fuzzy wuzzy. Y'all know. And yes, I hate chewing noises. Oh my God. When people, I'll be like, oh my God, why are you chewing? So I can hear people across the room, or chalk. When people like this on a chalkboard, I hate that. Okay. So yeah, mosquitoes bite me all the time. It's winter time. Even in the winter time, I get ate up by mosquitoes. I can get mosquitoes on my leg. I wake up, I'm like, how did this mosquito? All my windows are closed, all the doors are closed, but I didn't went from outside to in here. So it's really silly. But anyway, let's move on. So y'all get what I mean? Do I get sick in the car? I've noticed that if I'm in the car for a long period, I start to feel really weird. I'm like, oh my God, why are we still rolling? And sometimes I do have to take a little nap in between. I have driven extended hours and going to different cities and towns and things like that. So when they said red hair, I don't know about that, but likely darker skin, so skin pigmentation. Now, some of my skin, like sometimes I can get, again, I'm allergic to something since I've moved from St. Louis to Kentucky. I find myself that I'm allergic to something. I have not figured out what it is. Sometimes I will get blotches on me. Sometimes I wash my hands too much excessive, and something like that, but not often, and it'll go away after a while. Sometimes it takes my skin longer to heal, and that does have something. But I've always been like that, so it's not like now that has happened. So I could understand what they're saying about that. Likely be told larger. That is embarrassingly correct. Yes, I have a unibrow. None of y'all damn business. I just told you I get my eyebrows done. And yes, I can wake up at 7:51 at times, and sometimes I'll wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, okay, I'm up for the rest of the day. But I might be crashing around 1 o'clock in the morning or 11 p.m. You catch me on the okay. Anyway, so that's enough of the information. Y'all know I'm not going to share the family situation, but I can tell you some things about that. Let's talk about that. Okay, so let me put it on. I'm gonna put it back on the DNA. Ooh, right here. Wait, I almost hit on the wrong spot, didn't I? Okay, so I'm gonna put it back on here. Okay. So one of the things that I found out so I was able to contact certain cousins. Okay, it went from second cousin all the way to, again, I had like over 1,225, I think. Something like that. I might be off a little bit, y'all know, but y'all get what I'm saying. Let's just go 1,200 and something. Let's just go with that because I can't remember the exact number, but I know it's 1,200 or something, okay? So I found myself, I'm adopted. So I found myself hitting up everybody, adding everybody, because they have a part on here where you can actually add people and just notify them like, hey, let's share our DNA. It does give you a percentile of how much DNA that they feel like you and this other cousin have. So I did have a cousin, their DNA was like, there's like my second cousin, which is second generation for those that don't know. And it was like 2.258 or something like that. And they were like the closest relative. I had probably approximately roughly maybe like 5 second cousins. Everybody else was third, fourth, and fifth, and sixth, and seventh generation. And that's pretty much all I had. Because again, bearing in mind that your family actually have to send their DNA in, etc., so they'll know it, stuff like that. So a lot of family has done that. So I was able to kind of track that. So that was pretty cool. I did talk with a couple of cousins. Some of them I talked to on the phone. Some of them we text back and forth. And so again, the first day I did it, I'm telling you, I went to bed very early because I was so overwhelmed by a lot of energy because I'm meeting different people and we're having these conversations and I'm finding out that we have a lot in common. Like I had 2 cousins that do the same thing I do. 2 to 3 cousins, and that kind of messed my head. I was like, wow, I knew it was a connection. And then keep in mind my bloodline Nigerian. So a lot of that is not abnormal in the areas of which I come from. If you really do your research, that makes sense for me to be a healer. Okay, I ain't gonna be on here. Oh, I'm on here 43:54 minutes. Y'all still with me? I'm trying to not talk so much. I do talk a lot. I'm sorry. And then I found out they talk a lot too. Okay. So what I didn't share with you all was that also that I didn't find anybody on my father's side. All these folks, all these 1,200 some odd folks are all on my mother's side. So, and they don't know each other. So some people know some people and some people don't. So then I started to find, so as I'm finding out, some people in Atlanta, some people in New York, some people in California, and these folks don't know each other. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I got to ask this person about this person. Do you know this person? You know this person based off the information because they give you the person, whatever information they entered in. So they call themselves KB, say for example, then it's going to say KB. You see, well, mine Samira say my name, but if I could have just put a nickname or alias in here and said AK. You know, some people outright put their names in. So I went to Facebook. I went to Instagram. I Googled and found some names. Some people I just kind of say, well, this person looks like this person. I went to this particular person's page. I'm like, oh, KF is actually this person's brother because I look on there. Yeah, you got to get investigative. I'm like, okay, so this person is related to this person because of the high percentage, and it tells you the relation. Now, it'll say on certain areas, it'll be like this has a high voltage of this may be your first cousin, your second cousin, or probably a sibling. So to kind of let you know that. So you will have an estimation, but when it goes, it'll tell and it'll compare like your relatives to the other relatives, like how much percentile both of you all, the DNA you all share. So it'll be like this cousin FG and the other cousin Kabira, and Kabira is kin to you by 2.56. That's a second cousin. This whatever name I use, this particular person will be kin to you by 0.56, but then their DNA is closer to that person that I was just talking about, right? So that's kind of how it is. So it's very useful. Like I said, I definitely was impressed with someone coming in and not knowing anybody. And like I said, it went all the way back. I haven't even looked at it all the way, and it goes. I literally have 5 pages, and I just told you it's 1,200 and something odd people, and I've probably clicked on probably about 5 pages, and I've been in contact with probably like 23 of my people, and they're trying to figure out how they're related to me. So they will kind of do a thing where they'll say, possibly on your mother's, well, it's on your mother's side, but it's like, well, what particular ancestor or person or we connected to? So most of it is like grandfather relationship. So that's with second cousins and third cousin. That's like great great grandfather, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Um, and grandmother, that's like first generation. Y'all just basically cousins. Y'all mamas is sisters or brother or whatever. And so they had a child, and y'all, hey cousin, and everybody else is like great great grand such and such, and y'all share the same great great ancestors. So just because you kin to this particular person don't mean that other person, the other cousin is kin to them because it's a different line. Because again, it depends on if it was a girl, boy, whatever. Okay. Keep it in mind. All right. Y'all get it? Okay, cool. So, that emotion was intense because, again, I'm adopted. I've never spoken with any of these of my people before. Only people I know is I don't call it my adopted family. You're not supposed to say that. Who says that? But I don't know. Some people do. But to identify to the person that does not understand, you may say that. So my parents are the people that I know, and I know their family, their mother, their father, their cousins, nieces, etc. Third, fourth, fifth, all the way down to slavery. I know in that fashion, and they're pretty a close knit family, so everybody knows everybody, even on down to the little baby, the great 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 great. You know what I mean? So I wasn't used to that, so I was very shocked that a lot of people. It was a lot of separation there, but I don't. Again, they don't know me. I don't know them. So, but okay, I admit that I did have a good feeling about it because I felt like I was on this track because again, I'm second generation. That's the closest I am. Okay. And again, like I said, I have a few cousins that's second generation. So they don't really know the first generation, all of them. So they're talking to this person or that person that possibly are. And they have to wait for this person to contact them and this other person. But again, I have to wait on my birth certificate so I can have names because names speak volume. Even if I don't have their DNA, but names speak value because I can say, well, hey, cuzzo, such and such, do you know Belinda Rice? And they're like, oh yeah, Belinda Rice did have a baby, was pregnant, but I don't remember when. Oh yeah, or whatever. So I was so exhausted. Even talking about it now, I'm exhausted. But I was so exhausted, I crashed. And then I woke up this morning to a lot more emails, a lot of people generally. So, whatever with this family, they're very helpful. They're very, very helpful. Even if they don't know, they was like, well, I don't know, but I can sure talk to somebody. I'll talk to this person and that person. Oh, if you know anything, if you found out about this person or that person, and you come across this person, please let me know, because I'm looking for them or whatever. So it was definitely a great energetic feeling. So I kind of felt, it was like welcome to the family. So I did kind of feel like I have 3 families so far, because I have my mother and my father's side, and then not my bio um mom's side, but I have not met her yet. So that will probably be a very, very, very different story. So, but right now, again, so what I am happy about is that my parents don't know them. So that's a great thing. But if they did, I mean, can't do nothing, like I said, but forgive them and move on. And so I talked to my father today, because I hadn't talked to him in 2 days, because I was just, I don't know, I was kind of exhausted. And then I don't know, I felt weird about it, and I didn't know. I didn't want to feel like I was backstabbing him, or like I was betraying him in any kind of way. I did tell him upfront I was doing it. I told him about the birth certificate and the DNA. So I didn't hide anything from him, but I still felt, some kind of way, because that's my father, and I'm very loyal to my father. Me and my father are like this. Me and my mother was like this, but we was cool. That was his wife, but we was still cool. She just got on my nerves, a little more, because she nagged, but she gave me everything I wanted. She was sweet. She hugged me all the time. She hugged me too much. But and I wasn't really a hugging child like that. And my father wasn't either. He understood that. My father got me. So that's why my father's a Taurus and I'm a Taurus. So me and my father are like this. So I can call him and talk to him about anything. He talks to me about everything. So I wound up calling him and just telling him and making him laugh and telling him everything that happened. And he was just like, and he said something really sweet to me. And he doesn't say often sweet things, but what he said to me was, he said he glad he did it. He glad he adopted me. And that's the most sweetest thing he said. And lately he's been saying a lot of weird, sweet things, and I just be like, okay. I'm like, okay, goodbye. I gotta go, but nevertheless, so this experience have been pretty cool so far. So I recommend, so what is my recommendation? And I'm going to end this video. My recommendation is for people to do the ancestry one. I mean, the Ancestry DNA and 23andme. And if you can find the websites that allow you to transfer the information, because there is a difference. I am a daddy's girl. There is a difference in how they do it. So, or the African ancestry one, I think it'll be really great for us, the ones that, because they still they still will tell you about if you have European, etc. They still tell you that, but they can give you more of a, it's not as broad as what I just showed you all. You all shown it was a lot of broad areas. They didn't say exactly what this is, what it's just an estimation. Right. So anyway, I'm pretty satisfied with it. I don't think it was a waste of money. It was definitely an investment. Oh yeah, on certain websites, when you all do this, make sure y'all opt out for them not to be able to use your DNA for other things, because um there are certain strings. Not all of them are like that, but some of them may use your DNA to solve crimes. They have done that in the past, but then they had to put some stricter rules on that because that's unconstitutional. So just be mindful of that. So I got to tell you that I can't just walk away and tell you not to consider that, and watch out for certain sites. Make sure you opt out, like, no, you can't use my DNA purpose is just for me to find out where I'm from, where my family comes from, etc., etc. Okay, so I want to share that with you. Any questions? I kind of rambled. I didn't even ask anybody if they had any questions. Any questions? Because I'm gonna get off her because I've been on her. I hate talking that long, but I can't help it. I am very long-winded. And once I start doing more videos, I'm gonna start cutting down on them because y'all don't have time to be sitting up here listening to me for about an hour. So I'm gonna start doing like 30 minutes. But I'm gonna have to get everything down back before I do that. Anyway, I'm working toward it. So if none any questions, I'm gonna go ahead and log off of here. I told my husband, so I'm gonna do a video on my DNA. I told everybody I was gonna do it yesterday, but maybe it was yesterday or the other day. Was it? I think it was Friday. Excuse me. I've been drinking a lot of water. So I'm really, I mean, a lot of water. To the point, you ever drink so much water, your stomach get really full? Anyway, that's how much water I've been drinking. But nevertheless, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to wrap this up. I really appreciate everybody. Namaste.